Hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Two, or welcome back if you, I don't know, if you really like me that much and want to see what else I'm talking about. This time, while we're currently in a break between The Rookie and our next series, Perry Mason, we're going to be talking about and reviewing Swamp Thing, the complete series. Now, I've done a DVD unboxing for this before, and I had promised that once I had finished up the show, I'll be talking my thoughts about it. Plus, it seems like the right time to talk about it because Swamp Thing has just been announced to be coming. Now, for Season 2, don't get your hopes up. I was just saying Swamp Thing is coming to the CW. So a whole new generation of fans can watch it. Hopefully, maybe even convince CW to maybe consider rebooting it or reviving it, or maybe even another platform to at least see that Swamp Thing still has potential. It's still very crazy to see how this show, obviously this was part of DC Universe's original lineup of shows, which included Titans, Doom Patrol, this, and now Stargirl. It's fairly interesting to see how far we've come, and sadly how much things have changed from the original plans, where DC Universe was trying to be everything DC related. So they were doing comics and a comic show and the movies and TV. I don't think they quite had figured out how to do DC Universe movies yet, but thankfully. Well, right now, from what I've heard, is that the plan right now is, they want to make do for what they announced, and they are continuing. However, with everything, changing, and it could be, it's unclear how the platform's future is. That'll be probably a conversation for another day. But right now, I do want to talk about Swamp Thing. I heard a lot of great things about this show, but only by the first episode. The thing about this is that I heard great things about episode 1, and then I heard nothing of it. Like, literally, as soon as episode 1 was done, no one was talking about it. And that's unfortunate because when you do anything production related, and especially something as high profile as a DC show, even Swamp Thing still, I mean, you got a great actress in Crystal Reed. I think that's her name is. Yeah, Crystal Reed, who was in Gotham before. So she's no stranger to the DC universe. But still, you're taking such another smaller known character and giving him a more focused version on it still can create some exciting opportunities. And the bummer thing was that from what I read was that Swamp Thing was supposedly there were plans to do more because I think the area they filmed the show in had supposedly given them some tax breaks. Because usually production companies love it when states like, yeah, come to our state. We'll give you a cut of we'll cut the tax or something, and so that it can be more affordable to film out there. Because obviously they couldn't film in California because it's expensive, and Canada's already over flooded with DC shows already. So adding another one in there would just be, I don't know, man. I think it's too much, but. They found the right home, and I believe they filmed. I'm gonna look a lot on my phone for this one because I want to know more of the production detail. And again, I was supposed to record this as soon as I had finished watching it, but just things kept pushing it back, and I'm finally getting to do this. I was thinking for a moment like maybe I should wait until the CW started airing episodes, but in the fall. But by that point, my memory is long gone. Like I still remember good chunks of it, and still am able to form my coherent opinion about it. But had I just, not done it until the fall, I'm pretty sure I would have forgot. And the show was filmed in North Carolina. that literally why I'm looking up and down. So it was filmed in North Carolina, close to where one of my friends live, and presumably from what I heard, someone miscommunicated. They said oh no, we didn't say yes. That must have been something. Something was lost in transaction, and so they opted to cancel 3 episodes of Swamp Thing's first season and just make episode 10 the finale, and also cancel it because there was absolutely no way they were going to able to afford production costs anywhere else. Because this was a minorly known show for a streaming platform that was just taking off the ground, so there was just very limited amounts of resources for the show to do. But I think overall, from my base level, I think this show did a pretty good job of working with the material it was given, and also managed to somewhat create a one-off story. I know and there will be mild spoilers, little minor spoilers for this show, and in this review, and I know it was supposed to meant to be expanded in more seasons. I know there were plans to do a Justice League Dark episode and then spin that off. But I think that was just really thinking of, that's a producer's pipeline dream to be able to because Titans minorly spawn off Doom Patrol, even though it's another continuity, another Earth. And then when it came to Swamp Thing, I guess they were also in its own Earth. Yeah, they was based on the Crisis Infinite Earths crossover event. So I guess the plan was to spin off a Justice League Dark Shield from there. But I guess that was if DC Universe was really taking off as a platform, which sadly it hasn't. I mean, I remember when George and I were planning about, sharing a subscription to watch Titans, to watch Young Justice season 3, and the plans fell through because at the end of the day, like, is it really worth our money to invest this every single month? Because, we, at least when we were getting the year 1 content schedule, it was like every week we would be getting a new piece of DC Universe original programming. But then as year 2 began, it slowly started to stagnate a little bit more because, like, it wasn't as successful as they were hoping to be. And I can talk about DC Universe as a platform in a Legend Talk episode in the near future, or in a podcast maybe, but I was just like trying to provide valuable insight to why Swamp Thing probably got the ad. And it is very unfortunate, especially, I don't even want to know what the cast and crew went through when they were filming this show, because when I'm pretty sure they felt like, yeah, we have a pretty sizable, hit on our hands. The writing's good, the scripts are great, and the story's pretty good. So I felt like they probably were expecting to get another season. But being in a whole new area that I don't think many production companies have even tapped upon in North Carolina yet. I've never been to the Carolinas before. I am planning to someday in the near future, but yeah. So it was an untapped marketplace. So I guess the actors were probably intrigued that this is all new for TV, and sadly, it just did not. It did not get it did not continue. And the nightmare would have been to like, oh, we have to like shut down production to rewrite the last episode, to condense, I think, 4 episodes into the 10th episode. So it was like, whatever they had planned, like, for me, purposely, like, the season finale, or the series finale, it felt like there could have been more to explain, but I felt like they did a really good job just condensing how the story could end in one final episode. I think they did a pretty good job for what they were working with, and yeah, but I would not have loved to be in that in any of those writer rooms, and any of the actors, like, because like it's like a whole complete upside down circumstance where you're on a show, you have still maybe like a month and a half left of shooting, and they just tell you, oh, we have to shut down early because the network or the studio cut 3 episodes from our order. So negotiations and not getting paid. It's like, I don't even want to know the nightmares of the back end of that show. I don't even want to know about it. But it is still very unfortunate that the show didn't get the chance it deserved. And sadly, that's just the nature of the TV business. Sometimes you're going to be on hits. Sometimes you're going to be on shows that just get canceled, or maybe, who knows. But anyway, enough about backstory. Let's talk about Swamp Thing itself as a show. I'm surprised there wasn't that many Shrek jokes about this. Like, something as strange is happening in the swamp. I'm actually surprised they didn't make any more. So anyway, as the show itself, so I usually do the butchered recap on my shows, but since this is not a proper episode review, I'm just talking about the show in general. I feel like the base premise of this is that the main 2 characters are Swamp Thing, but before he was known as, oh god, what was his name? I gotta look this up. I'm sorry. Like, here's the thing about me. Another thing about me on my shows is on What's on the Tube is that when me with names are just so horrible. Like, no matter what, like, it takes me like 5 episodes to really memorize the name of characters, and even then, I just like sometimes I'm like, it just comes out it just comes out of my head. So I apologize. I have to look down more on my phone to just remember the characters. Yeah, Alex Holland, who would eventually become Swamp Thing. That's how the origin story goes in the comics. If you don't know that, then that's on you. And Abby, what's the last name? What's that? Arcane? Yeah, Abby Arcane. Yeah, I got that right. Yeah. My head doesn't always play trick with me. Those are our 2 main characters. And I feel like they are both very likable characters. One is, like, they're not your typical, like, I think the good thing about superhero shows now, like the characters are relatable. They're not like these super popular, celebrities or something. Like, they're just very likable. Like, no, I mean, like, they're very likable to the public. Where for them, like, Abby is she works for the CDC. She's one of I believe their highest ranking one of the investigators. Again, I don't remember her job title because eventually as Swamp Thing just kept going. No, she's an investigative doctor. doing research, and damn, I forgot his name. Frickety. Why do I forget the name? Yeah, exactly. I just forgot the name. And Alex. I don't even know. Okay, Tom Holland, Alex. There you go. Alex Holland. And Alex is a disgraced scientist who had like a promising career ahead of him, but like his research direction kind of like made him kind of like, oof, not gonna associate with this guy. So these two are not your very typical like very well liked individual, but deep down they're really good. They're really good people, and so. The premise of this Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, I can't speak English today. The show takes place in Louisiana, in the bayou, the swamp. The bayou. I don't know why. Why do I keep saying bayou? I don't know. That sounds funny to say. But, so anyway, there's this mysterious illness that's been going around. It starts with this young girl who gets it first. She's not doing so well, so they call her Abby because she is an investigator. She probably knows better than anyone else in terms of like potentially contagious diseases, which you know what I mean. I was gonna make a very horrible joke, but whatever. I'm sorry about that. And ironically, this is originating from her hometown in Louisiana, so she decides to go in and become the personal lead investigator for that, and that's where kind of our story begins. Where the swamp has been known to do very ominous, weird things as time goes on. Even when Abby was as young as a teenager, like there has been some strange goings in the swamp. So Abby's backstory, and again, I'm not going to spoil too much into this, but when she gets back home, that's where kind of everything starts up again. Where during her investigation, she meets this scientist Alex, who's very much lurking in the background. Originally, I thought maybe this guy's just going to be recurring, maybe he's going to be a helper. And the thing is that about Abby and Alex, like obviously you can see that there's going to be a romantic connection. I mean, I'm sorry to say, I know it's very typical for TV shows to put it like the lead female and the lead male to eventually like each other. I know all about that, but the show eventually builds on the complexity of the relationship because initially it just starts by curiosity, then respect, and then feelings of like maybe there's something more between them, like they actually really really like each other. But again, I won't spoil anything after the first episode, but after that first episode it's like, well, it just doesn't seem likely they can ever like fully go into it. But even with that being said, like seeing them having to adjust to this new reality and having to like now figure out these issues in the town and what's going on with the swamp is very much the pillar of the show. And it's not like a very much of a romantic relationship. It's just a connection between two beings, one of human and one of a swamp thing. And I don't think like the genre like it's classified as a horror genre show, which I guess you can describe it because like Swamp Thing does look like a monster. That's kind of the point of the character, but I don't think the show really, in my personal opinion, I don't think it really used the horror element to like its full advantage. There are episodes where you do get to see Swamp Thing performing as like this is all shot and choreographed like a horror movie, but in reality, it's like this isn't really something that is really fully taking advantage of it. Again, I'm not really a horror guy. I'm not really that genre. I just know about it, but I'm just saying like this doesn't really fully go into the horror theme as I would personally see that. It could be for some other people, just not for me. And the thing is that, and this is the one thing, that the first episode is a really solid one. It's a really good introduction to this world. One of my issues with the show is, sadly, is that I really like the connection. And again, I said this before in a lot of other my show reviews and episode reviews, is that it's always the characters that are the motivation to keeping me watching these episodes. I want to see them grow into the next thing. For me personally, like all the side plots, all the subplots did not do it for me. I'm sorry to say, like the Abby and Swamp Thing connection, really solid. I was really fascinated by that. Maybe, and there's another character called Avery Sutherland. I don't know why I'm thinking of Sutherland. Am I right? I am right. Avery Sutherland, and the whole plot with him. It was intriguing in some episodes. If you don't know, the Sutherlands were, well, they're in the first episode. They're the family that takes in Abby when she was younger, and they're kind of still like her paternal adopted parents in a way, so they are very much infused in the show. Sadly, some of them do play it as typical villainous characters, like they only have their own motivation, stuff like that. I never really saw anything beyond them, both Avery and his wife. For me personally, I didn't really see anything past it. And not to say all the subplots are bad, it's just that some of them just don't do it for me. Like Avery, he's all over the place. Like he's doing this that's typical of like this character genre, and this and that, and it really sucks. I can't talk about this fully, but it just really bothers me that they never really, for me, they didn't really like give anything new to that context for me personally. And even how that storyline, when we get to the end of season 1, I didn't really feel like, okay, sure, whatever. I mean, I just shrugged my shoulders because like that's basically it. And then there was 2 other, like there are other characters in the show. Like there's one with the restaurant. There was a bar restaurant, and we got those characters. I completely forgot about those. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even know what they did. Like I know one of them was our friends with Abby, but that's really it. Like she helped those characters help her out, but they don't really like. For me, they don't really like add very much value to it. And I really hate talking negatively about a show because I am criticizing the work the cast and the crew and the writers have been doing and the directors. I hate when I do that, but honestly, I do have to be open and voice at least my own opinion about it. I'm not hating on it. It's just that it didn't really I didn't really see any like purpose to that. And then there was this other thing with like there's a guy who works at a video store who is a former hotshot actor that kind of like fell down the shine of Hollywood. His direction was like, I'm pretty sure like they would have explored him if we had gotten more episodes. Sadly to say, in this season, it just didn't do it. It just didn't do it for me. Again, I mean, I would have been curious to see more about him, but I never really hooked to that storyline to be per se. I know it would have been something they would have explored later on fully. For me personally, I just never really got hooked into that one. And I think from that, so there was another subplot. And then the other like major, like, I think it was subplot B, as it really intensified, was I think his name was Kevin Durant. I've heard of the actor before, and he wasn't really like part of the cast. Like he was like, what did he star in? Oh, he was in. Oh wow, really? I'm sorry, I'm reading his like filmography, and it's like I know of the actor, but I never like really. Oh, he was on Lost. I honestly don't remember him. But basically, he's playing like Jason Woodrow, which I guess for comic fans is like, oh my god, he's such a big character. It's like, I think the actor did, like, honestly, he is like the closest, like, on the next good thing after Abby and Swamp Thing, because like the actor does a really good job playing this, like, the scientist who is just so obsessed with his work that he's willing to do whatever he can to, like, in the name of science, I will do anything I can to advance my career and my research, because that's what prevails. Science. I'm not trying to criticize any people who's in the major field of science. Sorry about that. I'm just, you know what I mean. I did really like his performance. I think he's a really good actor, and like the way he portrayed this character was really. You really felt like he was this like creepy guy who was like he only cares about his work, and like there's a scene in like I think the penultimate episode where it's like, oh, that. I don't know why. I don't know why. Like, I don't know why he's doing this. Like, this is just so painful. I want to talk about it, but it's just, I can't. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Kevin Durant. And again, I think they were like, again, it's another thing where like we were going to see more of him had things continued, but we didn't. So, and then everything else is like it's just forgettable. And I really hate to say that. Because again, I felt like this could have been something had they given more time with into this world. I feel like we would have really respected every aspect of it. And this is only my own personal opinion. That's the thing. Like, this is all my review on it. So, and I know I'm a forgetful person, but if I'm really stumping to remember like every single subplot, it's like it's not doing it for me. It's not doing it for me. But the way they handled like the Abby Swamp Thing relationship was great. As we got to see like the slow progression as they go, like after episode 1, seeing them kind of split off in a way, and then like slowly seeing their journeys kind of realign with each other. And then there was like a moment in like the season in like the penultimate episode where it's like, okay, this is something I would have expected, but like, damn, that just surprised me there, and I really wish I could talk about more, but I can't. But I'm just saying, there's a moment in like the penultimate episode where like it kind of like realigns everything, and it really like solidifies the direction that their connection would have taken them had we seen more of it. And again, also the design on Swamp Thing was really solid. Another thing that I gotta give praise to DC Universe is that it does like Swamp Thing and Stargirl have done their best to like really up the value from typical TV budgeting to like more akin to movies, but now really like it's still like a far stretch away from being like on a big screen. But I feel like this is like a really of a big step up, especially the design of Swamp Thing was like it was really cool to see. Like I could not imagine this being on any one of the other networks had it not been for this unique streaming service that like had that vision and made it work. And I give them credit on that. Again, like I would have loved to see what season 2 could have brought. I would have loved to see these characters continue and grow, and maybe even making me to like them all the characters even more. It's just that season 1 alone, given how it turned out to be in the end, and how it had to be salvaged from the original 13 episode order, and all that. I think they did the best job they could. I feel like majority of it based out is a really good show. I just felt like the subplots could have done. It didn't really do it for me. In the end of the day, it really didn't do it. And I know that's a really a rude thing to say, but I gotta be honest here. I just could not get into it. Besides the Abby Swamp Thing stuff and maybe the Jason Woodworm stuff, I just did not get into it. I really didn't. But either way, I did enjoy my time on the show. I feel like this is another thing where I really hope there is a moment in the future where like we can be able to see these characters again and see where the story could have continued had we gotten more. But at least right now, and I don't know why I'm bleeding. Is this blood? It's blood. No, I'm actually. I think I scratched like I don't know. I scratched something too much, and it's like I don't know. But anyway, I really enjoyed Swamp Thing. I really did. I feel like this is a fun, bingeable show. It's 10 episodes, not bad. It will leave you like a little bit disappointed, like you won't get to see how the story would have continued. But given how from what I've seen, it's still a very solid, one-off story that tells its own story and manages to do a pretty good job of telling it. So I would give it one thumb and a half. That's my grading scale. Like I'm gonna give it that. It's a really good show. I really explore it. You can get it on DC Universe, all 10 episodes. You can also get it on DVD for like about $20, as well as it will be streaming for free on the CW coming this fall. So you have multiple ways to check it out. I really implore you to do it, and maybe hopefully the amount of curiosity will peak and we'll maybe build a season 2 potential. Who knows? I'm not really campaigning for it. I would be fine if we never see Swamp Thing season 2 ever. But I wouldn't be against if we do get it. I'm actually pretty neutral on it. But, yeah, I think that's going to do it for me, guys. So, again, I'm sorry. Anyway, let me know in the comments below. What did you think? If you watched Swamp Thing, was I right? Am I not right? What are your opinions about it? I'm always open to conversation in the comments below. And I would love to hear everyone's thoughts about this. Because it's a show that, I don't know why, the DVD's like creasing now. Oh well. So anyway, if you were unaware, this was What's on the Tube from ActionX. If you want to know what our overall content schedule is, we do DC Stargirl episode reviews each and every Friday after a brand new episode on Monday on DC Universe, ironically, and every Tuesday on the CW. We also are currently on break with our other content schedule, hence the Swamp Thing review. This is the last time I'm putting this DVD on camera. What was I saying? Oh yeah. But we're doing next week for the Monday time slot. We're doing Westworld, Westworld Conversations, like as I like to call it. We'll talk about the first 3 seasons and go from there. We'll be doing Perry Mason episode reviews after that. On Saturdays we're doing the High School Musical movie reviews, and then that will lead into the Doom Patrol season 2. We're going to review each and every episode in Doom Patrol season 2. Can't wait to start that up at the end of the month. But however, if you do care about Swamp Thing, sadly, that's kind of the end of the road. This is literally the only piece of content I have. Like, I can't do anymore. I'm sorry. I mean, I could do a spoiler review, maybe after the CW show the CW airing wraps up in the end of the month. Maybe I will. Someone's going to have to remind me about this stuff, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to forget. I'm being completely honest. But also, if you do care about DC Universe, we are doing Stargirl episode reviews each and every Friday. So if you are watching Stargirl, check me out. Check me out over there. Like, I do pretty good episode reviews. I nearly lost the footage for this episode review for the episode 3 of Stargirl because my camera fell. So I'm like, oh my god, is this the end of my camera after 9 years of having this? And like, thankfully, I fixed it. I gotta get a new camera. But anyway, and also we're doing Doom Patrol. So like, if you're a DC fan, I'm going to soon be in a lot of DC content. So let me know. Well, not let me know. Like, come see me. But anyway, again, if you're unaware, this was What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see more of What's in the Tube, please subscribe to ActionX on YouTube. Ring the bell for notification when we have a new review live. Like, favorite, share if you want to, but it does help us out, really. And follow us on social media to be up to date on our current stuff. Again, this was kind of a one-off Swamp Thing. Maybe we'll do spoiler reviews down the line. But until then, thank you all for watching. Be safe. Be good to each other. I'll see you guys sometime, hopefully, in the near future. Peace out.